Hey folks, today I'm going to be talking about this new gacha waifu game called Snowbreak Containment Zone. Essentially, this game is a first-person shooter and seems like it's going to be refreshing for most people because we haven't had a gacha first-person shooter before, right? I mean, we've had Genshin Impact, right, which is more like a action open world RPG, and Honkai Impact, or rather Honkai Star Rail, which is more like a turn-based open world gacha game. So today I'm just going to be sharing my first impressions of this game. I don't think I'm qualified to do a full-fledged review of this game because I haven't really exactly explored all aspects of this game. But firstly, I just want to share my honest thoughts on this game, and I think you can trust my perspective on this game because I'm not affiliated to any publisher, and I'm just going to share with you my thoughts, and hopefully it will capture the essence of whether this game is worth playing. Right, so let's talk firstly about the art style. Right, the art style seems to be kind of like an anime art style, although the colors don't seem to be as vibrant compared to the likes of Overwatch, Fortnite, Genshin Impact, and Honkai Star Rail. I mean, you can take a look at some of the heroes, right? So these are some of the heroes, and I think you can have some idea of whether the art style appeals to you. I think it's alright, but it's not groundbreaking or revolutionary in any sense, right? So yeah, that's my thoughts on the artistic direction of the game. It's not revolutionary, it's not groundbreaking, it's not, world class, but it's decent, right, for a mobile game. I'm actually playing this game on the iPad, and I think it's so far it has been okay, but it hasn't been exactly very enthralling for me. So let's talk a bit about some of the operatives, right? These operatives are like the heroes in the game, and they have certain weapons and progression system, something that I actually wish that Overwatch would have, right? I mean, looking at Blizzard, they kind of promised us the PvE with talent trees and so on, but they couldn't deliver ultimately. But this game, somehow they do have a progression system, and it does look quite impressive. I mean, look at all these stats. You have the typical RPG stats like crit rate, kinetic resistance, thermal resistance, electrical resistance, chaos resistance, and so on. Yeah, so it does look like this game seems to have quite a bit of a progression system. You have different skills, and I'm sure you can kind of like upgrade them. You can also upgrade your weapons and so on. As you progress further in the game. So there is a sense of progression in this game if you think about it, whereas Overwatch is just PvP and battle pass. So I'm speaking from the perspective of an Overwatch and Fortnite player, and just comparing with those games, although I do acknowledge that you can't really compare a supposed AAA shooter with a mobile game, right, with a much smaller budget, right? But for what it is, the gameplay, I think you can see some of my other videos to have some insight on how the gameplay is like. I think the gameplay actually is quite underwhelming for me, but I think your mileage may vary. For example, I think my friend who really enjoys first-person shooter games like Fortnite found this game really to be pretty engaging for him, right? So I guess it's different strokes for different folks. I personally found the gameplay to be a little boring and a bit disengaging. It's quite shallow if you ask me, because I actually played this co-op boss fight. Okay, I'm not going to show it to you now. Yeah, this co-op boss fight called Brave the Game, and it turns out that just fighting some huge bosses, but the gameplay seemed to be just revolving around just shooting at the huge boss and hitting your ultimate and so on. So it wasn't very enthralling for me. The boss actually felt like a hit point sponge, right? And yeah, they have massive amounts of health, and you just hit all your buttons until you deplete this health, and then game over, right? So that the boss fight isn't exactly very epic, but I was told that some of the smaller bosses were actually more engaging. I found some of the missions in this game not too bad. I think I've played a bit of the main story so far, and some of the sniper missions were quite engaging, if only for maybe about an hour or so. Then it started to get a bit repetitive. But bottom line is the AI isn't exactly very intelligent, and most of the enemies seem to be rather brain dead. They just come at you and you just shoot them and they die. If you're in some boss fight, then of course they have a lots of hit points, but still the bosses are pretty much brain dead, and they just stand there like statues, and you just hit your buttons, fire all kinds of weapons, and yep, they go down, and you collect some rewards to upgrade your operatives. I think the greatest appeal of this game is actually the waifus. They look pretty cool. You can see the animations here. Yeah, pretty, and they all have some unique skills, right? Different types of damage, like electric DPS and so on. Yeah, you can see they have many different skills, right? So in some sense, this could be refreshing for a shooter, but for me the graphics seems to be a bit dull, right? It doesn't feel as vibrant as compared to something like Genshin, World of Warcraft. Personally, I prefer an art style which is a little bit more vibrant. So this operative may appeal to me. Well, so that kind of sums up my thoughts on this game. I wouldn't say this is a review, like I mentioned. This is more like of a first impressions, and I think my main complaint about this game is really that the controls feel rather clunky. Like when I move around, it's kind of difficult to move. Maybe because I'm playing this game on an iPad. I'm guessing that perhaps this game would be better played on a phone or a PC. My friend plays this on PC and he says this game is pretty engaging. It has been quite fun for him, even more than something like Diablo and Fortnite. Yeah, so I think I've addressed the elephant in the room. I shared with you my thoughts on the gameplay. To me, it's not exactly very engaging, but who knows? Maybe as you progress further, you unlock more skills. It could be a lot more exciting. They also offer this daily check-in like all games. I haven't really been checking in with this game, and you also get for the first 7 days, if you log in, you will get this Yao skin or cosmetic. Yao seems to be rather interesting. She's a quiet quitter. In Chinese they say Tan Ping. So it looks like the developers do follow the trends in China, especially, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so that's all I gotta say about this game. It feels like a budget Overwatch, if I were to say so. Of course, we can't really compare this game to Overwatch, but it has kind of like, it feels like a budget Overwatch with inferior first-person shooter kind of mechanics and gacha mechanics. The thing about this game is, if I wanted to play a gacha, I would probably play the best gachas right now, which in my opinion are Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. If I wanted to play a first-person shooter, I would probably play something like Fortnite or even Overwatch. As much as I criticize that game, I think the core gameplay is still outstanding. It's just that I've played the PvP in Overwatch for so many years, and any game that you play so much, at the end of the day, it's going to become boring after a while. No matter how good the gameplay design is, eventually you're going to get bored. But I do acknowledge it's the design of the game is top notch. Just that the recent events in Overwatch tend to be, it kind of shows where their direction is. So anyway, I think you've just to summarize. Okay, I think you can try this game, see if this game suits you. I think it may appeal to you, but you probably got to give it a chance. But for me, I think there are so many games out there that I would like to play, and I do not have enough time, so I'm just going to probably drop this game, and maybe I'll be playing Diablo 4 soon, because I haven't exactly started playing Diablo 4, although I'm a huge Diablo fan. So that's about it. I don't think there's much else I can share about this game, and yeah, that's about it. Right, so essentially this game is a gacha waifu shooter. If you like the waifus, then definitely this game is going to appeal to you, because they have so many different waifus. Let's just take a look at all the waifus. I have another video about showing all the waifus if you want to check that out. And I think the coolest looking waifu will probably be Haru. Yeah, I think she looks the coolest right now. For me. Yeah. But I don't think the waifus in this game are enough to draw me into the game, because the game play itself feels a lot like Borderlands, and I don't know, maybe I'd rather watch paint dry. So that's all I gotta say. If you have fun with this game. I mean, everyone has their own perspective on games. So if you enjoy it, feel free to continue with this game. After all, my opinion doesn't really matter, right? Who cares about what I say? It's just I'm just sharing my perspective and my thoughts on this game, and I'm sure you're just probably here to see whether I'm echoing the same sentiments as you, right? Okay, but this game ultimately isn't for me,
It's snowing.
right? So thank you, and have a great weekend, guys.